the fight that landed me in prison. Okay, so we're going to break this story down real quick. Look, I already had fuckload of charges before this fight happened, or before this incident happened, but it was a regular kind of night. It was me and a few of my friends. There was probably about 10 of us in the group total. It was mostly like, I was going to say boys. That's how fucking old we were, you know? So we were like 15, 16, 17, but it was mostly guys. There was a couple of chicks there, a couple of girls. And we was hanging out at the local pizza shop, or one of the local pizza shops. And a couple of us was getting food inside. It was late. It was like probably 11 to 12 o'clock at night. The pizza shop, I think, usually closed about 1 o'clock in the morning. So they were getting close to their closing time, you know? And they had a fruit machine in there. You know, one of the machines you put in the fucking coins and you're just pressing the buttons hoping the fruits all land together, or whatever, the slots or what the fuck they call them. I didn't play that shit, so I don't know too much about it. But anyway, so some of us are getting food. A couple of my friends are drinking as well. Me personally, I didn't fuck with alcohol. I didn't like that shit. It made me chronically sick and made me just have headaches, and fuck that. It fucked my digestive tract. I couldn't handle shit. I didn't like it. I didn't drink. One of my close friends, we're just going to call him Scotty. He was one of my main codees, but he was drinking on the Stellas. He had the old Stella bottles, and a couple of my other mates was fucking drinking as well, but there weren't many of us, you know what I mean? Most of us were sober. Anyway, long story short, we're in the pizza shop, and these three geezers walk in. They had obviously been over the road drinking in the pub, and the pub was, I don't know if the pub was fucking closing or doing, you know, what do they call it, final drinks or last orders or some bollocks like that, but in any case, they finished drinking in the pub, they were pissed up, they came in. They started talking shit to my mate Scotty, right? So they started getting into it, started exchanging words. I looked at Scotty and I said to him, look, bro, just fucking leave it out. Like, fuck these cunts, you know what I mean? Like I say, you got to remember, we were like 15, 16 years old at the time. These geezers that walked in were, I think the youngest of them was like 21 and the oldest one was like 23. So they, I mean, you know, like now looking back at it, because I'm older, you know, 23 is a kid to me now. But when I was fucking 15, 23 was an adult, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so they started exchanging words, and it gets a little bit kind of, I guess awkward is the best way to describe it, you know, because it was kind of like, well, what's going to happen here now, you know? And in any case, the guys got their food, and they fucked off, they left. And I was like, thank fuck for that, you know, that whole situation could have gone real bad, and I'm glad it didn't, you know? About 3 minutes later, the fucking pizza shop door opens, and the main one that was arguing with my mate Scotty, he opens the door and he leans his head in, and he looks over at Scott and he goes, you fucking little mug. I tell you what, you think you're fucking hard? Come outside and let's fucking go then. Let's go. Fucking me and you, one-on-one. So I'm sat there like, for fuck's sake. Anyway, knowing Scotty, and he, you know, Scotty was always fucking, he had a bit of a screw loose in the head anyway. He was way worse than me, let's put it that way. And my other mate sat there, David. He was the silent fucking psychopath. He was, I'm going to talk about him in loads of other videos, but let's just say he wasn't going to fucking have this either, right? And I was already surprised that he had been silent up until this point. Anyway, so obviously fucking Scotty gets up, goes outside. As he walks outside, I'm like right behind him. Before I even have a chance to fucking do anything, my other mate, fucking David, boom! He just fucking cracks one of these geezers. And from there on out, it's fucking Royal Rumble time. It's game on. Everybody's fighting. Most of the people that were there, in terms of like my group, ran off. You know, they was all scared. The kids, you know, they were scared they were going to get their shit kicked out of them, but it was pretty much a 3-on-3 fight. Some of the girls actually stood there, which was funny, you know. So the girls were standing there. Again, these are young girls, you know, 15, 16. They're not, you know, they're not adults. And me and my two mates are basically having a 3-on-3 fight with these fucking geezers. And I'll tell you what, they got the shit kicked out of them, you know. So first of all, I fucking started rocking with one. There's a bit of wrestling. I remember fucking threw a couple punches. And then as we like broke up, he went over to the other side and started fighting with the other group. And I remember turning. As I turned, I saw fucking Scotty. He had this fat fucker in a headlock. And the fat fucker's like trying to lift him, but he can't. And Scotty's got the bottle that he's been drinking, this glass bottle, and he's whacking it over his head. And all you can hear is clunk, clunk, clunk. And he's trying to break the bottle on the guy's head, but the bottle just ain't breaking. Anyway, I just hear him, like, he lifts his arm up as like high as he can. And I just hear him give this like almighty roar or scream. Ah, boom! And he just hits it as hard as he can, and the bottle just explodes over this geezer's head. That geezer fucking goes down on the floor, and like I fucking ran over, and as I ran over, I got pushed by somebody into like another fight where my other mate David was still fighting with this other dude, and I remember he was up against the car, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know where the fuck his other two mates were. The guy's just got fucking bottled, he's like on the floor, but the other one, I don't know where he was at this point. And I remember the geezer was up against the car, and I just did fucking roundhouse kick to his head, boom, as hard as I could. He was fucked, man. So the fat one gets up, he's been bottled, and he's got blood pissing out his head down the side of his face, and he's like, let's fucking go, let's get out of here. So he grabs one of his mates, pulls him up off the ground, and they start kind of, you know, like retreating. And obviously at this point, I'm all fucking hyped now, I'm all pumped, I'm fired up. And I had my little girlfriend there at the time, you know, and I'm not going to lie, like, you know, I was a fucking idiot. I was like 15, 16. You know, I had that stupid pride. I was trying to impress her and act like I was the shit. So, you know, me, I was always lean as a kid. I was never fucking big. I was always relatively small in terms of being, like, slim, but I was always lean. So I took my shirt off, you know, like, fuck, let's go. And I remember the geezers got across the road, right? And it's a really fucking wide road, especially for the UK. It wasn't like, I don't know, 20 feet. It was a really fucking wide road. It was probably about 30 or 40 feet. So they got across the other side of the road and they were heading off to the train station. And my little girlfriend at the time, she's trying to stop me. She's trying to hold me back, you know. And I was like, no, fuck that. So I remember I was like, fucking come on, Scotty, let's go. So we started running over. And my other mate, David, was following suit. And one of them still wanted to fight. Like, two of them were they were like, fuck this, we're done. We need to get out of here. But this geezer was still like, he was like, fucking, let's go. This is fucking game on. So as I ran over, I ran over and I acted like I was going to hit him with a hook. And as I acted like this, the geezer like moved and I went boom. And I just hit him as hard as I could with a right hand. And I'll tell you what, in my entire life, and I've had a lot of fights, I'm not saying I'm fucking Bruce Lee, but I had a lot of fights in my life, and this punch, boom, it landed so clean. And the geezer just went, boom, and he just laid down flat. And I remember his head hitting the ground, like the concrete, it just clapped the concrete. Now, as he's hit the ground, and I'm over him now at this point, and I'm about to start hitting him as he's on the ground. And all I see, I'll never forget it, right? All I see is his eyes rolling in the back of his head, right? Like he's fucking possessed by a demon or some shit. And his whole body is like fucking convulsating. I mean, I'd never seen that in my life, ever. I'd never seen like a seizure or... I'd never seen anything like it. So I was like, instantly panic took over from my anger. You know, I was immediately in kind of shock. So I was standing over him looking. And I remember I'm looking at his head and his whole body's shaking and his eyes are rolling. And I'm just thinking, fuck, what the fuck have I just done? And fucking hell, my other mate Scotty, he's straight over there and he's kicking the guy in the fucking head as he's like, I don't know what the right word is, but as this guy's convulsing, my mate's kicking him in the head. And his other mate, like, basically jumped on top of him and tried to, like, protect his head. And he's screaming. And so I push Scotty back and I'm like, mate, you're gonna fucking kill him. And he's like, I don't give a fuck, he's fucking dead. And honestly, I was just, that moment really changed how I looked at all violence for the rest of my life. I changed right then and there, because I realised, holy fuck, it ain't that difficult to actually really kill someone or do serious damage, you know? So, as this is going on, I swear to God, all of a sudden, all I hear is sirens. Woo, 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 woo. I hear the sirens and everybody, just like a bunch of cockroaches, psh, they just all scatter. I ran straight across the road, and it was like a driveway down to a canal. I ran straight down the canal, or rather straight down the hill. I got to the bottom of the hill, or the drive, and straight onto the canal. I went straight over the canal bridge, and I was off into the moors. And I don't know where the fuck Scotty or my other mate David went. I don't know where they went. But I was fucking off, you know. As soon as I heard sirens, I was gone. And I remember I phoned my other mate, because I tried to ring them, and their phones was off. So I fucking knew that they had both been nicked, you know. I just knew it. So I was like, fuck. And, man, I at that point, I started to really... I'm not going to lie, I was fucking shitting my pants, man. I thought the guy was probably going to... I didn't know if he was dead or not. I didn't fucking know, but it was... I knew that I'd done serious damage to this geezer, right? And I was fucking scared that he was maybe going to die. And I was going to be facing life, you know? So I remember I phoned my mate Adam, and I was like... Mate, I fucking killed someone. I swear we just had a fucking fight at a pizza shop, and I fucking killed this geezer, man. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I mean, I was just in panic mode, you know. I was just panicked. I remember my heart wouldn't stop pounding. I was sweating. I felt sick. I felt like I wanted to vomit, but I couldn't, you know. And my mate, he was a couple of years older, you know. He was like 19, 20. He tried to calm me down. It's gonna be all right. Don't panic, you know. Blah blah blah. Like, let's find out what hospital he's at and if he's okay, and just calm down, you know. Calm down. So he helped calm me down a little bit, and yeah, I was arrested a couple of weeks later for that fight, and that was kind of like the I don't know what the expression is, but that was the kind of catalyst or whatever to me getting locked up, you know. And I was initially remanded, but I spent almost a year on house arrest, and then I was sentenced because I was found guilty of this specific incident. So yeah, I'm gonna go through my charges in another video, but that was the story of how, you know, that was a story of the fight. I call it the fight that landed me in prison. There was a couple of others that I still need to go through as well, but that was the one that in my mind really stands out because of the damage that was done. And later came out in court that the guy was okay, he survived. He had a broken jaw, and it was just like some kind of fucking seizure that he had at the time. The other guys had a couple of stitches, lacerations in their head and stuff. I mean, it was serious, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't that serious in retrospect, you know, but I was very scared at the time. Anyway, so that resulted in a couple of, initially they were GBH charges, and it was GBH with intent, and they got lowered, and I think in the end I pleaded guilty, or I got found guilty of, I think they found me guilty of ABH because they lowered the charges. Anyway, like I say, I'll go for my charge in another video, but that is that story of how I ended up, you know, the fight that landed me in prison pretty much. And I'm out.